to pay for his incidental expenses. And so it finally got to a point where I, on his behalf, wrote a letter to Governor Corzine. Now, I went above the Attorney General because I believe, and I hope that I'm right, that Governor Corzine is someone who stands for doing the right thing and for being a reformer. And I still have that belief. However, my letter to the governor was never responded to, and in this letter I documented the shortcomings that Commissioner Hazzard had been concerned about. And we thought perhaps that there may have been a possibility that the health and safety rules and regulations weren't being implemented because of budget concerns. But that could not be the case, because there was a $90,000 employee that was a political patronage employee foisted upon the Athletic Commission who knows less about boxing than I know about brain surgery. So it can't be budget constraints that have dictated these shortcomings. And with the advent of mixed martial arts and with the heightened awareness of the possibility of substantial injury and death, the commissioner felt that it was incumbent upon him to reach out to the governor. And as I say, we never received a reply to the letter, and what he did receive was a summation or a summing to an office where he was fired. And this is a very sad day for boxing. It's a very sad day for New Jersey. And it's a very sad day if the governor of New Jersey underwrites what has been done here. The commissioner has received over 200 phone calls. Some of you have already seen the articles that have been written on the web. It's the tone and tenor of these phone calls and articles is one of outrage among the boxing community, because we all know that Larry Hazzard is considered to be, around the world, the best and most efficient boxing commissioner. He's been in office 22 years, and no reason was given for his firing, and the only thing that we've seen in the press is, well, we thought it was time for a change. So if it's just politics as usual, and the governor is responsible for that, that's a sad commentary. And so now the floor is open for any questions that any of you might like to pose to Commissioner Hazzard.
The state did not give you one reason whatsoever. They just said it was...
The only reason that I was given was that, as you know, we're looking at all of the departments in state government, and we're looking to make changes. So we would like to thank you for your years of service. And then they went on to delineate for me my accumulated sick time and all of the other stuff. But that was basically it, yes.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm not phrasing this correctly, but what's the point of this? If you get your job back, isn't there going to be some animosity? What are you trying to do here with this, getting Jimmy Benz to speak for you?
Well, Jimmy Benz is not speaking for me. Jimmy Benz is my attorney.
Okay.
That's a decision that I feel I have a right to make. This is America. Everyone has a right to a hearing, to a reason as to why they've done something. I've been involved in combative sports since I was 12 years old. This is my life. Okay? I've done a job here in the state of New Jersey, I believe, to bring the sport of boxing, a very dangerous sport, into the 21st century. This is not about trying to get a job back. This is something about a person being allowed to have a reason for being dismissed from a job, just as you would want a reason. A person being allowed to have a voice in whether he feels it was right or wrong. We delineated for the governor's office, for the attorney general's office, a number of serious complaints that I had. I'm very disappointed that I never got a chance to even discuss the complaints. I have had and made a reputation as a commissioner for protecting the health and safety of the combatants who participate in combative sports in this state. Now, we have another sport, mixed martial arts, which makes that task doubly dangerous. As a human being, as a father, as a grandfather, I have to look myself in the mirror every day. Many of these young men, and now women, who compete in combative sports are the same age as my grandchildren. So I want for them the same safety elements that I would want for my youngsters. So I feel that it is not fair that I be fired because I express concern for protecting the health and safety of these young men and women who compete in combative sports here.
Well, if they didn't tell you that was the reason why you got fired, how do you know that that's why you were let go?
Because nothing happened until we sent the letter to the governor's office delineating these complaints.
When did you send the letter?
About 2 weeks ago.
Do you feel any correlation of this? There's a highly publicized MMA event tonight in Newark. Is there any correlation with the timing? You think that has anything to do with it?
No, I don't think that there's anything to do with the firing or anything of that nature. As a matter of fact, I don't think that they even had a clue. I don't even know if they even knew that there were two major events taking place this weekend, one far north and one far south. Okay, to me, that would be an expression of not even caring. I don't know. You would have to ask them.
Larry, it sounds like you've been trying to do this for years and you've always been able to just rest on your reputation and what you've done for the sport, so they really had no cause to do anything. Why do you think they were able to do it now? You must have some information as to what's behind the scenes that they didn't do.
I don't know the politics of it, but I'm sure that there was a political strategy. I don't know how long this has been in the works. For all I know, this whole thing that came to a head could have been in the works for quite some time. And they were maybe just sitting back, waiting for the right time. I don't know. You would have to ask them that question.
Larry, have you decided yet whether to take legal action, or are you still contemplating that?
Well, my attorney and I will discuss, those matters at a later date. But right now, we're just trying to get all the facts out there. And I would also like to make it clear that I was not escorted out of anybody's building, that I was not dragged out of the building kicking and screaming as was possibly reported. I walked out with my head held high, okay, as I will always do. Now, let me also say this, okay? I know that over time, Larry Hazzard has made some enemies, and in many instances, I've bumped heads with a lot of people who may be even in this room. That has nothing to do with the job that Larry Hazzard took an oath to do. I have not in any way tried to apologize for any of the disagreements that I've ever had with any of you or anyone else in the press, okay? But I do believe that I have demonstrated through the years that my one concern has always been to protect the health and safety of these young men and women who compete in combative sports, and to protect the state of New Jersey from any serious liability. That was my one and only goal. Those were my major concerns. Now, boxing, martial arts, combative sports, it's tough sports. These are tough people. You're tough people, okay? So, I want to be fair about this. Judge Larry Hazzard on the job that he has done. Forget about the personality issues, because my personality has nothing to do with whether I can do the job. So I just wanted to set the record straight on that.
You're known as...
Did you ask for?
I didn't get a chance to get into any discussion. There's this administrator named Kimberly Ricketts, okay, who let me say that she's a very forceful individual who she simply read or spoke, and that was the end of it. Okay? So I never got a chance for any discussion. This meeting was not about entertaining any discussion from Larry Hazzard. Okay? I understood that as soon as I went in. This was not about any discussion. The cast had been set. This was all about, this was the day that Hazzard was leaving, and that was it.
Larry, is there anybody inside the government that's coming to your assistance or trying to help you out?
Well, I
in this
really
way?
don't know. I really don't know. I doubt that very much. Politics doesn't work that way.
Have you talked to Tony Orlando about this at all?
Yes, I have.
Did you want to?
Well, you have to understand that Tony Orlando and the other board members, they're political appointees. They are political appointees. This is this is about Larry Hazzard. I don't wish to involve others because it's a sensitive situation. They have to look out for themselves. So it would not be fair for me to try to drag them into this. You would have to ask those questions.
So is this the whole thing more, as much about saving your reputation, let's say, rather than getting this position back? Because I can't see that happening, getting this position back. If you're going to the point of getting...
This is not about saving a reputation. I don't think that this is simply about putting the facts out so that they are put out there properly. Okay? As far as getting the job back and all of this other kind of stuff, that's something for me and my attorney to discuss. This is to put the facts out. See, so that's all this is about. So if there were any facts put out there before incorrectly, now they can be corrected. Everybody has the facts. That's what this is all about. The facts. And this is America. I am entitled to what I'm doing. Whether I want the job, whether I don't want the job. It should be based on the facts. The facts should be put out there clearly and correctly, and then you decide.
Larry, you're known as somebody that was key in developing both the unified rules of boxing and the unified rules of mixed martial arts. And I don't, from covering both these sports for a long time, I don't know anybody that has the same kind of standing in both those sports, let alone even one of them. Do you think that the Attorney General's office was aware of your standing in both of these combat sports?
Well, I don't know what they were aware of. I really can't speak for the Attorney General's office. The facts are there. If they weren't aware, then if they cared to know, they certainly have a number of opportunities to find out the facts. I participated in all of the